Memories of you, they're pulling me down. Echoes in my mind, can't leave them behind. Swamp donkey, monkey mouth, got me losing sleep. I'm haunted by your name. Caught up in this storm, my heart can't be tamed. Feeling trapped in time, reliving the pain. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Feeling heartache, we're breaking. Your love got me crying. Swamp donkey, monkey mouth. Feeling heartache, we're breaking. Your love got me crying. Swamp donkey, monkey mouth. Feeling heartache, we're breaking. Your love got me crying. Shadows fall, memories fade, but I can't let go. Your words are haunting, your lies cut so deep. Swamp donkey, monkey mouth. You played me like a fool, girl, now I'm all alone. Heart torn, soul on fire, love turned to stone. Swamp donkey, monkey mouth. Oh. Swamp donkey, monkey mouth. All right, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Jack Bravo. Mr. Producer is off. I'm doing some holiday stuff, so I'm going to do some things. We're going to talk about a lot of interesting things today. And first, I want to warn young men. There's this misconception out there that when you talk about purity, when you're talking about abstinence, when you're talking about running away from sexual morality, that you're just saying no to fun, right? You're just saying no to doing everything everybody else do, and that men have this strong desire, and they want to go out and fulfill that desire to have as much sex as possible. And the only reason why you shouldn't do it is because sexual morality will destroy you from the inside out. All of that is true. But it's another reason why, and even the Bible goes into this, why a man should abstain from sexual morality. And it's often more visible Proverbs where it talks about the wayward woman, the loose woman, the foolish woman, the seductive woman. The reason why a man should stay away from her is not because it's going to have such a mental toll on him. It can, but sometimes it won't. Sometimes you can go out there, have fun, get drunk, have sex, and then look back in your life and say, oh, that was crazy. And that's be about it. But the overwhelming reason that I see so many times in the Bible as to why a man should abstain from sexual morality is because a foolish woman will ruin your life. Not because it affects you mentally the same way it does a woman. I don't believe it does. But a foolish woman, linking yourself with a foolish woman, will ruin your life. A woman has to be properly vetted, taken to the proper avenues, being the church, your family, your father, your trustworthy friends, vetted by each one of them before you even consider marrying her. And the reason why is because a foolish and evil woman will ruin your life. She can absolutely ruin your life. I have had horror stories from some of my closest friends who they went and they rushed and they got married. Next thing you know, they come home from work and all the furniture is gone. The children along with it. And they don't even know what happened. And then next thing you know, the wife who they loved so much was accusing them of abuse that they never did. I have counseled men crying because they got with a foolish, evil woman. and she destroyed their house and she makes their life a living hell. She tries to take away the kids. She uses the kids against them. She's very abusive, physically abusive in the relationship. I have seen it more times than I can count. And it's sad because, dang, I hope this ain't affecting my audio. Here we go. It's sad because when you counsel these men, we counsel each other, but we do it. We feel sorry for each other behind closed doors. But when we counsel each other, we give each other the whole hard truth, the cold hard truth. And something goes like this: "Hey, man, you should have watched out for that. You should have did it the way we taught you, man. But now going forward, we're gonna help you out. We're going to see what we can do to help you. But in the future, you need to pay attention." Oftentimes, that's not told to women like that. It's, poor baby, he was abusive. He was so narcissistic. There's nothing you could have done or could have seen. There's nothing you could have done better. It's just all him. That's a stupid way to be a good friend to somebody. Very stupid, because then when they get in the same situation again, they're going to be looking like, dang, if you was my friend, why'd you let me get into the same situation? You could have told me the pitfalls. So I like to tell men, even when we're looking at a terrible story as we're going to do today, what are the pitfalls you should have watched out for? Why would you be in a relationship like this anyway? With a woman who's completely insane, completely delusional, just straight up retarded, to be honest. Why would you ever be in a relationship with a woman like this? How do you know she's mentally insane? For one, she's openly Democrat. We're going to talk about this Madeline lady. This Madeline girl, I saw this on somebody else's channel, and I said, you know what, I got to cover this because a lot of people are not covering this story. And this woman just puts out this insane story of how she was abused. She was abused. And she has this voice where she's fighting through it, and you should believe her, and we should stand with women, and he held me down, and he did things to me. And then you listen close, and you're like, that's it? Men need to watch out for women like this, who will constantly accuse you and make these baseless accusations and use words like abuse and use words like physical harm. And then you read in between the lines, and it's nothing that reaches the height of anything criminal at all. I'm sharing my story with my truth. Shut up. Don't lie. There's plenty of women out there who are true victims who deserve sympathy because somebody did something terrible to them. Traumatic that they will never want to relive, and it's so traumatic that they can barely talk about it. I understand. I've talked to men who've had things like that happen as well. But when you get somebody who uses that same language so that you can't tell the difference, and you got to blur the lines between what is abuse and what is just straight up relational stuff to get some sympathy, those people are disgusting, man. Without further ado, let's go right. Let's talk about this silly lady's. Now I got to rewind it. Let me see. Wait, I got to rewind it and turn it on.
Survivor of long-term abuse by a man named... My name is Madeline, and I'm a survivor of long-term abuse by a man named Alexander, or Alex Wasnesky. I have already tried the legal route. I have already contacted his employer, and I have publicly outed him here on social media a few times. But out of...
Let's stop right there real quick. So, she says her name is Madeline, and she is a victim of abuse. She mentioned that she contacted his employer. She tried to out this guy several times, right? What did she not mention so far? Did she call law enforcement? I didn't hear anything like that, did you? And a lot of the reason why these lying women will not call law enforcement, because they know somebody has to ask the hard questions. You know why? It's not because law enforcement don't believe you. It's simply because they know they're going to have to write a report, and you're going to have to talk to a DA, and you're going to be put in front of 12 people who don't know you, and they're going to see through your lies if you're lying. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. Something just happened. Oh, no. Oh, crap. Is it still up? Oh, crap. Sorry, y'all. Just give me a second. Oh, no. It said it stopped, but whatever. We'll keep going. It seems like it's still up. All right. All right, let's continue with this young lady. Well, first of all, I want to remember one of the things that she said. Because not only is she trying to get this man fired from what you're about to hear in her story, but secondly, she's talking about she's brave and she's not scared anymore. What were you scared of to begin with? What were you scared of? When you guys hear it, you're going to understand why I'm so, like, questioning this crap. All right.
This segment is about sexual coercion, so viewer discretion is advised. I was struggling with my libido and wasn't as interested in sex as Alex was.
Oh, no.
But initially he was understanding. Over time, however, he began guilt-tripping me when I wasn't interested, making me feel pressured into sexual activities to appease him. The coercion started—
Wait a second. I don't even like that language. This is regular relationship stuff. Guilt-tripping you because, so you were in a relationship with this man. Let's start with that. And he would ask you to be intimate and you didn't want to. And so he guilt tripped you. So if that happened the other way around, right? With a woman, is that sexual assault? So if you're like, hey, dear, I got a lot of work today to do. Oh, come on. Oh, you're sexually assaulting me. What do you mean, oh, come on? I told you no. No means no. Is this really what the playbook we're playing by? Is this really how stupid people have become? Guilt tripping, basically meaning, I really want to. That's enough for abuse now, for sexual abuse? All right, let's continue this because this thumb-looking face lady got more to say.
To become more severe after about 6 months of living together. Alex would not take no for an answer, sometimes up to around 4 or 5 times, repeatedly pushing me with phrases like, we can do what you want to do. You don't have to do anything you don't want to.
How is that abusive? Let me rewind this.
To become more severe after about 6 months of living together. Alex would not take no for an answer, sometimes up to around 4 or 5 times, repeatedly pushing me with phrases like, we can do what you want to do. You don't have to do anything you don't want to. At least let me give you oral sex. Come on, we never have sex anymore.
It sounds like this dude is being absolutely selfless. What are you complaining about? So he told you straight up, we don't have to do anything you don't want to do. How is that abusive? Oh, that's coercive too. You can't please these type of women. Straight up. There's nothing you can do to make things better. You should not be with a liberal woman. And yes, she's a liberal. If you look at her page, nothing but liberal nonsense. She went to the No King's Day right here. Everything is about evil Trump and burning the American flag right there. Burning the American flag. This is an idiot liberal woman. They cannot be trusted. They will turn on you. Any man who gets in a relationship with an evil, liberal, white woman specifically, just recognize as soon as the relationship ends, she will lie on you. Because they don't believe in morality anyway. They believe morality is whatever makes them feel good. So if they feel like you're evil for being evil, patriarchal white men, they have the right, according to their beliefs, to accuse you of whatever they want. Remember during the Me Too movement where they said men should just take it because women have been taking it all throughout history. So if a woman does lie, you should just accept it. Remember? They didn't have any qualms with that. None whatsoever. To lie on a man. The whole Me Too movement was trash. This is that type of woman. And this is why I have no problem making fun of her. This is why I have no problem when we dig into what's going on. I don't feel sorry for her in the least bit. This is a lie. And this is somebody's son she's lying on. She want to get this dude put away in jail, under the jail. Because you know what they do to our word, arpist in jail. You know what happens. So she don't mind him having that stigma on him. Let's continue playing this.
If I still declined, he would shut down all intimacy and withdraw emotionally for the night.
Wait a second. Wait, no. We got to rewind that because this is something that a lot women be doing this a lot.
Sex anymore. If I still declined, he would shut down all intimacy and withdraw emotionally for the night, go to bed without me, and make me feel very guilty about the situation.
What? That's a load of crap. So the man can't even, so you told him no, right? And he's supposed to still be up on, wait, you don't want him on you. He can't say we can do whatever you want to do because that's abusive too. And so now he's supposed to hang around you and give you all this emotional, be an emotional sponge for you, but you don't have to do anything for him. That doesn't sound fair at all. Who would want to be in a relationship with this thumb-faced woman? Who would want to be in a relationship with her? Her head is the shape of a pear. A mango. Who would want to be in a relationship with a woman like this? So even he now that you denied him what he wants, which is not wrong for you to be in a relationship. Well, they should be married. Let's be technical. But say you were married or in a legit relationship. There's nothing wrong with wanting intimacy from your partner and even asking and being like, hey, you know what? Let's do this tonight. I wouldn't necessarily I'm sure this dude is soft for being with her, but say he did that. What's wrong with that? It's even according to secularists. What's wrong with him saying, hey, I want to do this? And then you denying him, and then you saying, and then he made me feel guilty by going to bed without me. What? Ain't that exactly what you told him to do, basically? I don't want to sleep with you. Go to bed by yourself. He made you feel guilty? Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Honestly, most of the times I would give in. I felt an immense amount of guilt and pressure. I eventually confronted him during one of these instances around summer of 2023. I directly told him that this is coercion.
Oh my gosh, dude, these women are impossible. So you, with your free will, and I'm sure you got several college degrees because you look like a liberal idiot on your pages. You, with your superior liberal woman intellect, decided to give in. You decided, because you said several times you denied him, right? So it shows it can be done. He didn't hold you down and take it. He went to bed without you and made you feel bad, made you feel guilty about it, right? That was too much to handle. But then, several times you gave in. And then you had to sit him down and tell him this was coercion. How? What is y'all talking? Do y'all even know the definition of these words? It's always going to be the case where even if you ask to go to the movies, one person will like the movie or want to go to the movie more than the other. That's not coercing you to go. If me and my wife want to go to the movies and I say, hey, you want to go see this? And she said, kind of. Well, I really want to see it. Did I coerce her to? And say she goes along with me. Can she come back and be like, you kidnapped me? You made me go. I didn't know. I didn't want to see it until after the movie. I didn't know I was being coerced and kidnapped all this time. You see how stupid that is? Don't get with a liberal woman. That's the lesson. Unless you want to be accused of stuff like this. All this time.
And I was met with defensiveness and denial. He even threatened the relationship and said something along the lines of, if you feel that way, then we shouldn't be together.
That's true.
This really upset him, and he managed to make me feel an immense amount of guilt for even accusing him of it.
Let's
this next segment will be covering physical aggression. and denial. He even threatened the relationship and said something along the lines summer of 2023. I directly told him that this is coercion, and I was met with defensiveness and denial. He even threatened the relationship and said something along the lines of, if you feel that way, then we shouldn't be together. This really...
He did the right thing, because here's the thing. So say you were with a liberal girl, which you're stupid for doing anything like that. Say you were with a liberal girlfriend and she sat you down and said, you know, the last 10 times in the last 2 days that we had sex, it was coercion. You coerced me. If she started talking like that, that's dangerous talk to a man. Any man with any sense will be like, yo, maybe we need, if you feel that way, maybe we need to stop this relationship, because I was not under that impression. I was not under the impression that you were being coerced to do anything you don't want to do. If you don't want to do that, and it's such a drag for you to have sex with me, maybe this is not a good relationship. And she worded that as, when he said that maybe we shouldn't be together, that was a threat to her. That itself was a threat to her, saying maybe we shouldn't be in that. Look, listen to what she said.
He even threatened the relationship and said something along the lines of, if you feel that way, then we shouldn't be together.
How is he not right? How is he not right? If you feel that it's borderline SA to ask you, then maybe we shouldn't be together. How does that not make sense? You can do no right as a man, especially as a white man. You can do no right as a man in a relationship with a liberal woman. This is why when I talk to Christian dudes and they done fell into a trap, and you see that girl got some super liberal left-wing tendencies, I'm like, I told you, you get what you get. If you get into a relationship with her and she take everything from you and accuse you of whatever, you get what you get, and I don't feel sorry for you, because I'm telling you not to be in a relationship with this little idiot. She will destroy your life. And look, she's so bold and I'm so brave.
It really upset him, and he managed to make me feel an immense amount of guilt for even accusing him of it. This next segment will be covering physical aggression disguised as play. There were instances
Let me stop that. This next section will be discussing physical aggression disguised as play. Why not just say full RAPE? Because it's not that, and she knows it's not that. But she has to word it in a way where he can still be demonized. He can still be demonized for playing around with your girlfriend. Oh my gosh.
Restraint and assault. He would pin me down with his entire body using both his arms and legs, making it impossible for me to move. He would then dig his hands and very forcefully into my armpits and ribcage to tickle me, which would cause pain.
Are you serious? Dude, every man on the planet who actually loves their girlfriend, excuse me, who actually loves their wife or girlfriend has done this. You can't have a relationship with these women. Let them die alone. Dead serious. Let them die alone. Let them be begging to be a part of a man's roster. She doesn't deserve to even be in the presence of a man, because a real man who loves you does stuff like this. You wrestle around, she might hit you and run away. You grab her, throw her in the bed, tickle her. She says, stop, please stop. That's just man and woman play. What do you guys flirt like? What do liberals even flirt like? Hand her a message and the message says, may I flirt with you now? Yes, you may. You look extremely amazing, but not in a sexually arousing way. But with your consent, it might sexually arouse me. That is so great. I wouldn't mind if you were a tad bit sexually aroused right now, because I am thinking of allowing consent between the two of us adults in a cisgendered sex orgy. Oh, that would be great, but not so great that I might coerce you to. I would not like to be coerced, but I will walk upstairs and immediately after me, you may follow, but do not look at my derriere as we go upstairs. Because I did not consent to what your eyes are oogling me with the male gaze. That's what these idiots did. Is that what they think a relationship is like? These people have no idea what a real loving relationship is like. I can tell. They have never been in one. And then they look at other relationships. I just seen a video. Man, I wish I would have found it. Actually, we looked at part of it last week when I was with my boy Mike. But the lady at the end says when you could tell she was a liberal, a lonely, late 30s woman, and she was so upset because when she got around her family and she saw couples loving each other, she felt so jealous. I'm glad you feel jealous. You don't know how to operate with a man. You don't know how to let a man be a man without complaining and believing this feminist nonsense. Everything is evil. Everything is a patriarchy. He can't even hold you down and tickle you without you having a fit and accusing the man of abuse. Stop. This is not abuse.
Very forcefully into my armpits and ribcage to tickle me, which would cause pain. I would repeatedly yell at him to stop and let him know that he was hurting me, yet he would continue. Sometimes this would last for up to 5 minutes. It would reach a point that I would be in such a state of panic that I would have to use an immense amount of force to either kick him off or roll out of his grip.
Wait a second. And this is where I get mad at people because they always be like, well, you can't victim blame. Yes, I can. So you saying this happened more than once? Because you said sometimes, which implies that it happened multiple times. So after the first time when you were held down and tickled uncontrollably, causing you to wet yourself, right? Because remember when you were a kid, you get tickled so hard that you start peeing on yourself. Maybe that was only me. Maybe it was only me. But when those type of things happen to you, you didn't have the wherewithal, you didn't have the intelligence, you didn't have the strong desire to leave the relationship. You came back. Oh, he was so abusive that after it happened, and it was so traumatic that you came right back. So you had the strength to kick him off, but you didn't have the strength to leave the house. You didn't tell him immediately, yo, I'm leaving. This is enough of that. That's what I tell men to do. I'm not telling you to do anything. If I'm telling a man, if you are in a relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, even husband, wife, if your woman actually gets mad enough to slap you or physically hurt you, just leave, straight up leave. Don't even worry about calling the police at that moment. Just get out the situation first. You didn't get out the situation. You came back. Oh, really? So brave.
And even if I did escape, he would pin me down again and repeat the whole process. These were always played off as jokes. I was always accused of overreacting when I stated the pain and the discomfort from these incidents. That is only part of my story. That wasn't even what hurt me the most. But let it be known that every single abuser on this planet needs to be shaking in their boots.
Oh no! Oh no! The mango face lady's after us. You know, husbands who tickle their wives. The mango face lady. She's gonna get us. Get your thumb face looking self out of here. Nobody is scared of you. Listen, look how she try to. Okay, look.
That wasn't even what hurt me the most. But let it be known that every single abuser on this planet needs to be shaking in their boots. Because we're not staying silent anymore.
Oh my gosh, look at her. Look at the determination in her face.
That is only part of my story. That wasn't even what hurt me the most. But let it be known that every single abuser on this planet needs to be shaking in their boots. Because we're not staying silent anymore. My name is Madeline, and I'm...
What? What is this woman's problem? Straight up, this is why, you know what, men are leaving the left in droves, and I'm happy about that. Part of the reason they leave is because women are so insane. Who want to be around these idiots? This dude is being accused by an absolute 3 out of 10. Look at this goof. Let me look at her page. Here she is burning the American flag. Now listen to I want y'all to hear the audio. Hold on.
What?
Did I say stand there and look stupid? No, I said burn it.
Look at her, the determination in her face. She's so brave as she's burning the same flag that gave her the freedom to even do that. Go to China and burn their flag and see what they would do to your fat, overweight, goofy looking self. And I say fat and overweight because only in America can you have so much privilege and think that you're a victim still. You're overweight, and yet you're burning the country that made freedom to eat, do, play, say, and do everything you want to do available. Look, I should just go through her page. Let's see. This is Goofy Woman's page. Nothing but typical liberal stuff. I'm sure there's one on here of her dancing like an idiot. Oh, look. What is this? What the heck is wrong with these people? What is wrong with these people? Oh my God. Of course she got cats. Of course. More stuff about cats. All right, let's look at this one. I just read this. Oh, great. My favorite hobby when I'm feeling miserable is to screenshot married men's activity on this app and send it to their wife on Facebook. Oh. So she has nothing better to do with her life than to ruin other people and try to make them as miserable as her because she knows she's a 3 out of 10. Oh my gosh, dude. I don't even want to look through anymore. She's just you can just tell she's a terrible person. And she lied on that dude. And it's kind of like my whole point in a lot of the nonsense is that kind of irks me is men. Yes, you have to be more responsible to women because they can get away with doing stuff like this to you and making those accusations and nothing will happen to them. Nothing. They will ruin your life, try to get you fired from her job, because at the beginning of the video, she said she called his job multiple times, trying to get him fired for tickling her while they were in a full-fledged relationship. And she kept coming back. Use words like coercion. This is the danger of being with a liberal, secular woman. Why would you ever subject yourself to that? You're better than that, young man. If you are a liberal and you have ideas that go along or align with hers, you're an idiot. You deserve whatever comes with her and her false accusations. You deserve it. Let's go to my next video. Those people who already know, politically savvy, already know who this is. Hold on.
Budget that includes a property tax.
Let me see. This is Chicago Mayor Johnson vowing to veto property taxes in Chicago.
I will veto any budget that includes a property tax increase. Working class Chicagoans can simply just not afford a property tax increase. I've done my part.
Wait, let's what did he say?
I will veto any budget that includes a property tax increase. Working class Chicagoans can simply just not afford a property tax increase. I've done my part. I've done my part. The real question should be, what else can these alders who oppose challenging these big corporations to put more skin in the game? The question is, what can they do? What are they willing to do? At some point, folks are going to have to meet me halfway. I don't mind working harder. I don't. I mean, I was raised in a household where we worked harder every day. But those same households are working harder every day in Chicago, and they're getting less. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I believe that the question is, who are we going to ask to do more? People who are already getting less, or people who have more than they've ever had? I will veto.
So, let's just see what happened in Chicago.
Chicago have exploded, and the bill has arrived for the incompetence of disaster in Chicago. Property taxes in Chicago have exploded, and the bill has arrived for the incompetence of Mayor Brandon Johnson. In black neighborhoods like West Garfield Park, taxes skyrocketed by an unbelievable 133%. North Lawndale, up 98%. Why? Because businesses fled the city. The eat the rich rhetoric drove away the companies that paid the bills, and now the burden falls entirely on the residents. Commercial buildings are empty, and the homeowners are left holding the bag. The treasurer, Maria Pappas, confirms, when commercial revenue drops, residential taxes rise. But instead of fixing the problem, the city offers a payment plan so you can pay for your own destruction in installments. This is the price of woke policies. You vote for leaders who prioritize ideology over economics, chase away businesses, and waste billions on migrants while your streets crumble. You were warned. Disaster.
Yep. Let's read some of these comments. This is great. I wonder if I can make it bigger. Oh. All who vote Democrat are to blame. Let me like that. Guess all that's free stuff wasn't free. I like that. New York next. Democrats are ruining America. I like that. Keep voting blue. Free for some, not for others. I like that. We are all the liberal comments. I don't get that one. Chicago is the next Detroit. True. Businesses left because of theft and also the so-called corporate taxes. That's true. Hey, Dems, you going to blame Trump for this? Keep voting blue. I like that. People are starting to wake up. People are starting to wake up. My brothers and sisters, we must stay focused. People are getting sick of the Democrat plantation. And here's what I don't like. I'm going to speak to not to those who are woke. It's too many that still sleep. And this is what I say to them. You get what you deserve. Let them burn. Let the city burn. Don't save them. You voted for who you voted for. You got that idiot in, and now you get what you deserve. No one cares. Y'all voted for the idiot. First thing he did was let illegal aliens have more benefits than the people of Chicago. He put them in hotels. He paid the overseers more money than you can get from having 10 master's degrees. The people that were overseeing the hotels for illegal immigrants were making around $250,000 a year off of taxpayer money. Look at it. And y'all keep voting these idiots in year after year after year. Y'all don't want to take a chance and vote blue. Everybody knows Chicago is super corrupt. Everybody. They've been blue since before I was born, even way before that. You get what you deserve. Nobody feels sorry for y'all. I seen videos talking about, man, our property taxes went up 100-something%. Yeah, too bad. I hope you lose your house if you voted blue. I hope when you have nowhere to live that you don't come where I'm at. Don't come over there. I hate when people leave California, leave Chicago, leave Portland, Oregon, and then they want to come places like Texas. Then they want to come places like Florida. No, stay your punk butt where you was at. They're going to be leaving New York soon. With that idiot they elected. They deserve what they get. They voted for it. These idiots are so dumb, they vote for something, then they want another place that didn't vote for the stupidity they voted for to come bail them out. I no longer care if y'all get finangled out of your houses and illegal immigrants is running through your front and your backyard. Too bad. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. Too bad. You voted for this crap and you keep voting for it. It'd be different if you voted for it once. Y'all vote for it year after year after year after year. The crime in Chicago is insane. You can't even park a car overnight without getting it broken into. The taxes are insane. You can't even drive down 2 different highways without paying 2 different tolls. And people want to talk about, man, I didn't know he was going to do that. You big idiot. Democrat policies never have worked. They are all about raising taxes. You didn't know? You big dummy? You didn't know? How you not know? You mean to tell me Democrats give money to listen, this dude, what name? It'd be better for me to ask, what liberal policy is he actually against? What liberal policy is he not against throwing money at? The gay LGBTQ thing. The trans crap. The illegal immigrants. What is he not opposed to throwing money at? Crime goes rampant over there. But let them put a gay walkway, a gay walk place, and spray paint it all different zesty colors, and you drive your car through that too fast, you'll be charged with a felony. Let Jussie Smollett come out and make up a lie. They put the whole police department and all 20 different detectives on that. But when somebody shoot up the block with a switch, because drill music was made in Chicago, when somebody shoot up the block with an automatic manufactured gun, by manufactured, I mean they put something on it to make it go from semi-automatic to fully automatic and shoot up the block with no discretion about who they hit, and brag about it on a rap song, nobody can find the murderer. It was word that King Vaughn had 8 bodies under his belt. And he was going along like he was the king of Chicago. They can't spend money on that. They got to raise your taxes up. When you can't even step a foot in the shopping mall without FBG Duck getting shot up in his car in a good part of Chicago. You mean to tell me they're going to continue raising taxes? Yep. And that's what you get. Don't leave. Stay there and absorb what you voted for. You idiot Democrats. That's what y'all want, right? I don't feel sorry for y'all. I hope you lose your house. I hope you lose your job. I hope all the businesses leave and go where they're appreciated, where somebody's going to vote that you don't just take all the money from rich people and then distribute it to gay rights activists and Black Lives Matter activists and stuff nobody really agree. I bet you he supports abortion too. So he'll kill black people any way he can get. Whether it be guns or in an abortion clinic. And this is what y'all keep voting for, and y'all keep getting the same results, and I'm sick of feeling sorry for them. Let them learn the hard way. You get what you get. Goodness, B. Another story from the Windy City. Let me make this bigger. Chicago pastor Corey Brooks is demanding action after a mother and her son were beaten by a mob of elementary-aged children after school. The young boy was seen trying to hold on tight to his mom as the children hit her. During an interview with Fox News, Brooks said parents are not being held accountable for their children's actions. Unfortunately, this is a cycle that we continue to see in the city of Chicago, where violence is so rampant and parents aren't being held accountable, he said. That's the reason why I'm walking across America trying to get people to wake up in our urban areas so that they can understand the magnitude of the issues that we're faced with every single day. I think we've gone away from respect. And we have to get back to those days, said Chicago Police 7th District Councilman Joseph Williams. According to the Chicago PD, the woman and her son were transported to the hospital. They were in serious condition at the time of the statement. No one is in custody at this time. Area 2 detectives are investigating, they said. Infuriating. We're going to watch the video that's a little bit lower. These people think that they're going to solve this problem by walking through America. Okay. Let's look and see what's going on here. Viewer discretion is advised.
Other bitch, Lauren. What's
This is not how talking. These are kids, elementary school. Elementary school kids.
Damn! Crack! Damn! Hey, fool, let my homie go. Let my motherfucking homie go. Let my motherfucking... Be his ass, yo! They working ass! They working ass! Damn!
Well, unfortunately, this is the cycle that we continue to see in the city of Chicago, where violence is so rampant and parents are being held unaccountable. And that's the reason why I'm walking across America, trying to get people to wake up in our urban areas so they can understand the magnitude of the issues that we're faced with every single day. Chicago is just a microcosm of what's going on across America. These young people are unruly. They have no moral compass, and we need...
Let me speak on this. Why don't they have a moral compass? Nobody ever asked why. It's not what you think, because these idiot liberal leftists will tell you they don't have a moral compass because of poverty. It's poverty. It's because they're not educated on how to be nice and stop hating each other. That's what it is. It's institutional racism. It's trauma from over the years of being a slave. Sometimes I wonder if I'm saying the solution too many times, but you can never say it enough times. The reason why we as a society, a black culture, have little animals, elementary school they're doing this, is because we refuse to follow Jesus Christ. What do I mean by that? Because some people don't know how to correlate not following Jesus Christ to what you saw in that video. When you refuse to follow Jesus Christ, You forget why you do the moral thing. Why do you get married? Why do you stay married? Why do you have healthy homes? Why do you love your wife as God loved the church? Why does the wife submit to the husband? Why do they honor their parents? Why do people stay together even though they may not feel like it? Even though they may not think they're happy? Even though they may want to go out and play the field? Why did we do that in the 1950s or 1930s, 40s, and 50s? And why are we not doing it now? We don't have the morals because the morals come from Christian ethics. Christian ethics come from following Jesus Christ. There is no way around it. People think we just need to start respecting each other. What reason would you have to respect each other? We just need to stop punching each other. Why would you stop punching? Why? If it makes you feel happy. We need to stop the violence. For what reason? What do you think people are going to stop the violence for? What good reason will people stop doing what they're already in their natural state to do? If you don't change a man from the inside out, there's no reason for him to change. You can give as much education as you want. You can sit these kids down and buy them nice clothes. Nothing will change the heart of a man outside of Jesus Christ. And yes, all the problems come from that. The reason why none of these kids have fathers around, the reason why they ghetto hoochie mama moms with this weed flying everywhere, falling out every fight you see on World Star Hip Hop, same culprits. The reason why you see that, there's no fathers in the home. There's no fathers in the home because the mom likes hood thug men. She likes hood thug men because she didn't have a father in the home. And then you wonder, where does this cycle start at? They don't believe in Jesus Christ. They say they do. They would swear up and down that they do. They would tell you straight up, I go to church, and my grandmama church, and my sister a pastor. And they don't follow Jesus Christ. They say they do, but their lives point that they do not. You cannot say you follow Jesus Christ and you've been following him ever since you were a child and have 6 children born out of wedlock. You can't. How are you continually falling in the same sin over and over again, claiming that Jesus Christ changed your life? Faith without works is dead. And here's where people get confused with this. It's not you are saved by your works. You are saved for good works. So one of the ways that you know you are a Christian and you know you are saved is if your life is changed. You cannot say, I know Jesus Christ unless you live like a hooligan. The reason why I know black culture is nonsense, why I know it's of the devil, is because you cannot say you know Jesus Christ and live like that. The two cannot coexist. People want to give all type of solutions. We're going to walk through the hood with matching shirts. We're going to do the next 110th Stop the Violence this week. And then what? We gonna get older thugs to talk to younger thugs about being thugs, and then maybe they won't want to be thugs no more. And then until the next person come over and shoot up the block. And then they right back to thuggery. We gonna educate them about black power and how they could be proud to be black. And one day we gonna have a black president. We did that. And then we're going to get black doctors to come in school. They did that. And then we're going to have all black schools. We did that. And we're going to teach them about Black Wall Street. We did that. None of that will ever change the heart. Let me get off my soapbox and stop preaching.
organizations to really work hard to make sure we change the direction of our neighborhoods. If we're ever going to change the trajectory of our young people, we got to catch them early. We got to continue to do the work. But the tragedy is in Chicago right now, we're facing some devastation that has been going on for years, and we need to get a handle on it.
This is what the mother had to say about this incident. Let's play it.
I'm trying to get justice for my son. They fought my son, they hit my son first, all in his face. Then they dragged me in the grass and pulled my little baby hair.
We haven't.
Oh my gosh, dude. It's a sad incident, so I don't want to make fun of the mom too much. But one question I will ask, and it should be asked because it should be asked all the time. Where's the father at? Where is the father? Let's continue.
Held these kids accountable. We haven't held parents accountable. No mother should be that helpless and be targeted by children inside of her own community.
Councilman, where is the fear and respect? I remember growing up, we were afraid of the neighbors because we knew that they was going to get us, and then our parents was going to get us when we got home as well. None of that respect seems to exist anymore, Councilman.
They act like, and this is the thing, these are people that are more often than not Democrats, right? They don't believe in Christian ethics. They don't believe in voting for anything that comes from Christian ethics. Matter of fact, you say stop abortion and they flail out and have a fit. You say we need to bring the Bible back in schools, they'll flail out and have a fit. Tell mothers to stop killing their children in the womb. Tell them to go to a Bible-believing church that don't have women pastors in it. Tell them to adhere to the true masculine word of God without shadow of turning, not to the left or to the right. Go to a pastor who's going to teach the word of God whether you like it or not, and going to follow the word of God. Go to a church that has excommunication so that if you continue in sin and refuse to stop, you will be excommunicated away from the body of Christ, given over to Satan for the destruction of the flesh. Tell them to go to that. We act like we don't know. That's what be bothering me. And maybe it's obvious to me. I was named after one of the prophets, one of the weeping prophets. And he constantly told, the prophet Jeremiah, and he constantly told the people, turn away from your sin and turn back to God. And the stiff-necked people, the Israelites back in the day, they would not turn. He preached his whole life, and people would not turn back to God. That's kind of how I feel with the black community. You can preach and preach and preach, and they will not turn back to God. They will have a counterfeit Christianity. They will sing their gospel songs with a woman pastor and jump up and down and catch the spirit and know nothing about the true Savior, Jesus Christ. That he came and he died for your sins that you may have new life. And that you would have life more abundantly. They act like they just don't know where this stuff came from. But then when you give them the solution, I guarantee you nobody on this panel will be cool with the godly biblical solutions.
Yeah, you know what? I completely agree. I think we've gone away from that, and we have to get back to those days. I think no mother and child, or children rather, should have to experience something so traumatic. To look at that video and to see you guys replay it, it's a horrifying video. I mean, it shows the disrespect. No child should ever feel comfortable putting their hands on an adult. And I think, as Senator Preston said, and many have said it, is that this has gone on for so long, right? The mother has come to the school and talked about this, and nothing had been done about it. It had not been addressed. And the thing about it is that, you know, I was glad to be there to be a support to that family and to help them through the process. But this is so much bigger than just that school. This is happening throughout the Chicago public school system. Many children are being bullied, and we have to put measures in place and make sure that those parents' voices are being heard and that those children's voices are being heard. Because if not, this can really overspill into something even bigger, I believe.
So all that talk, and what's the solution? More government programs? More charter schools? More stop the violence walks? What is the solution? And like I said before, some people will come to me and be like, well, your solution ain't gonna work because everybody ain't a Christian. Well, then die then. Yep, I agree. I said what I said. If you don't want to, that's what Jesus says. If you don't want the one solution that works, what will Jesus do to you at the end of your life? You can burn. Because there is no solution. There is no name by which you must be saved other than Jesus Christ. And that's not just saved from hell. It's saved from sin, death, hell, your own community, even the realities of the hood you can be saved from. You, with the wisdom that can only come from God, can't change your community. You're not to be so invested in this earth, but to be invested in the next life. But guess what? God is so good that he can change your whole community and bless you in the next life. Because God is that good. God has a whole book in the Bible, my favorite book in the Bible, Proverbs. All Proverbs is about living righteously, being wise, having discretion. Having the fear of the Lord produces wisdom, produces knowledge. Fools despise wisdom. The whole book is telling you, man, if you do this, this will happen. And it's like wise sayings to live by. So basically, some of my favorite passages in Proverbs talk about if you work hard, you will reap the benefits of that. If you take care of your land, you will not be looked down on. If you marry a good woman, you will treasure her. She will be valuable to your life. And then it gives the other side too. That's why the word fool is used so many times in Proverbs. A foolish man does not look for the future. A foolish man does not take care of his animals, does not take care of his household, does not take care of his belongings. A foolish woman destroys her house. There's so many lessons in there. And it's like the Bible gives a complete play-by-play outline of how you should live. And then we kind of wonder, and we sit there and wonder after we took Bible out of schools and started teaching kids evolution that they came about by accident, time plus matter plus chance, that your whole existence is a big accident resulting from a giant bang from nowhere. And then we wonder why their lives have no meaning and no purpose. Instead, the Bible teaches you were created in the image of God, and that Jesus Christ, when he saves you, you become a new creature to do good works, to love your neighbor, to give to the poor, to honor your parents, to be selfless in your love. In Corinthians chapter 13, it talks about love, and that it's not about feelings. The reason why we stay together is not because I feel a good feeling about my wife. It's because love is selfless, does not want for itself. It's forgiving. It bears all things. So you leave. It's long suffering, which is a thing. Oh, they'd hate. If I did a lesson on long suffering, people would hate it because it's everything we hate. It's forbearing a person that you don't necessarily like. It's putting up with things that you feel like I don't deserve this type of treatment, but you still put up with it. Long suffering. One of the fruits of the Spirit. Jesus did it for us. You don't see these attributes because you don't have any Christian ethics, because people do not know Jesus Christ. That's why we see what we see in society. Oh, this one, another infuriating video. Oh my goodness. I saw this and I said, I can't not talk about this. I need to stop doing this. This is raising my blood pressure. Just watch this video, please. Let's see here.
Babe, can you get up and throw out the garbage, please? Can you go downstairs and put the laundry in the dryer? Can you go wash the kids, please?
There's the bath.
Okay, go wash them.
What the heck?
Can you fold some of the laundry while you're sitting there? The laundry right here, that's in this basket. It's been sitting there for a few days. Hold it. Someone's got to do it.
Look at that.
Can you please get up and mop the floors, please?
Mom, so you got a $600 vacuum for that.
So use it. Get up and do something. Can you come and wash the dishes at least? I'll do it.
My goodness, man. Why are they making me angry? I'm trying not to. I'm on this diet. It's making me all. Anyways, this is why a lot of men don't get married, because they feel like this is what marriage is. If this is real, which is a chance it might not be, it might be her playing around and her husband is fully aware she's making a video. But there is a chance she put up this video to embarrass her husband and treat him like trash and to treat him like a literal slave. There's one thing that secular women, Christian women, it should not be you. There's one thing that secular women cannot stand. After feminism, they have been taught that after a man comes home from a hard day of work, never let him relax. He could sit on the couch, and if you see him sitting on the couch, it's because he's just laughing at you doing all the work and he's being lazy. Let the man relax. What is wrong with you? Let the man relax. Everything you got in that house is probably because he worked for it. And a stupid woman will be like, oh, I work for it too. Then find another man then. Find another man who's going to be a slave and do everything you want him to do. No man want to hear that crap. Man, nobody want to hear that. I'm dead serious. Oh, man. I cannot stand women who act like that. I can't stand it because I know for me, I wouldn't allow that crap. You cannot sit up here and just continue asking me to do crap. I'm not a slave. I would never. And here's the other thing. For those who think this goes the other way, if you have a wife and you're a husband and you constantly got to ask her to do stuff for you, she's not a slave, man. Give her a break. Hey, make me a plate. Also, make this type of thing to eat. And can you have that ready? And go to the store and pick this up. And imagine if a dude did that. The only difference is today everybody will recognize that that's toxic behavior. If you just would not shut up and constantly got to tell your wife to do something. And even if you did it for a video, everybody will recognize, dude, stop playing with her like that. Let the woman relax. Let her watch her show. Everybody will recognize that. But when it comes to a man, because of feminism, you can act like a complete donkey. And then just like, oh my gosh, let me show y'all. She says something that I was like, this just goes to show you, if he didn't know, and even if she's playing, the ease at which she said this phrase showed me she don't really care about dude. Look, watch.
Babe, can you get up and throw out the garbage, please? Can you go downstairs and put the laundry in the dryer? Can you go wash the kids, please?
There's the bath.
Okay, go wash them.
Look, so she's the boss. She's the one calling the shots. I don't care. Go watch them. Okay, go watch them. Get it done. or else. Sometimes as a man, you need to put your foot down. I'm dead serious. Sometimes if you need relax, like it's for me in my job, very, very stressful. Sometimes you do need your time to sit and unwind, and it doesn't matter who understands it. Hey, can you do this? Can you do that? Here's a problem, another problem here. No, I can't do that right now. Well, why not? Blah, blah, blah. I'm not explaining it. And that's it. And nobody has to understand. But the thing is, what's been messed up is feminism has confused women that the hierarchy is now switched. Women are in charge. They get to tell you what to do. You get no chance to relax. Because she's washing the dishes, you can't relax. That don't make no sense to me. So when I'm at work, does that mean I gotta call and check and see you better be working too, woman? I'm out here working for the family, you better be working too. No. When I'm at work, you should assume I'm working hard for the family. When I come home and relax, just because you working and you may be cleaning up, don't mean I gotta clean up. And that's the way it should be. And look, it's like, ugh, man, there's so much in this video that I'm like, this is insane.
Can you fold some of the laundry while you're sitting there?
So that's another thing. That while you're sitting there shows her mindset, right? It's like, you ain't doing nothing. Well, let the man relax. Has he worked hard all week? Let him relax. And this is why a lot of men do not want to get married. Let's read some of these comments. Let's look. Oh no. My husband has a 3-month gap while awaiting going back offshore. So I'm expecting the house to be looked after. He does the washing and the ironing, school run, I cook, clean, shop, sort out children's activities, school stuff. As he can't remember ever. Ho, ho, ho. That's a real partnership right there. When one person's load shifts, the other steps up. And honestly, offshore husbands owe their wives hazard pay for handling everything on land. Y'all think these are skits and these women ain't taking this serious? They treat their husbands like trash. Absolute garbage. Then, look, this woman posted this and she thinks she's in the right. Look, nagging wife. Not everything has to be right when she wants it, which is true. This is a man talking, obviously. She responds, that's fair. Timing matters. If he was in chill mode, she picked the worst moment possible. There's a difference between asking and ambushing. All right, then it depends on their situation. My wife and I both work. She's more diligent about the housework than I am, and I have the memory of a goldfish. She's an annoying nag sometimes, but I'm also an obvious child sometimes. See, this is the honesty I love. Here's the problem. For a man to get recognized as anything, he has to demonize himself. Oh my gosh. All these questions are basically saying, and this is one of my points. Given she set up a camera to record and publicly embarrass her husband, nagging wife 100%. I wouldn't publicly shame my wife, just like I wouldn't chop off my right arm. That's part of me. Why hurt myself? And then she says, valid. Everyone's marriage looks different from the outside. If filming him was her idea of making a joke, it definitely didn't land. Some things are better handled off camera. That's 100% true. Why would you set your camera up to film this? Why? Oh my gosh. Oh, here comes a simp. Look, okay. This is what I wanted to find. From Doug Breuer. Husband here. And this news need to get off his A and help. The sooner the better for him. You could tell he whipped. You could tell he's soft. You could tell he don't run nothing in his home. You could tell. What type of weak man response is that? What a softy. Get him out of here. Get this out of here. Somebody get this man out of here. I'm calling the men's coalition. Find this man. Get him up out of here. Get him out of here. Here's another one. Get the F off the phone, bro, and help your bride out. Then after, if you are smart, oh my gosh, you can cornhole her. That's not, you could tell this dude ain't married and never has a girlfriend. That's not how you attract a woman. You don't attract a woman by just doing everything she says like a slave. And then he writes, he's a lazy A prick. Everybody's asking if they're working. Somebody wrote, there's no such thing as a nagging wife. Trying to troll, just trying to make people mad. Here's one that you can tell is from a real man. There's nothing lazy about him. Just because he's not jumping up to do and doing it when she wants to, does not make him lazy. He never once said he won't do the thing she asked. He's just not doing it when she wants it done. That's true. Nag. People write nag. She's a nagger with the hard R. All right, so we get the point here. Let me close this. I just thought the video was disgusting. It hurt my feelings. It made me sad. We're going to have to get the men's coalition together and save that man. Put a care package together. Get him a hotel to get out of this abusive, toxic relationship. He is a victim. That's all I'm going to say on that. He's a victim. You're a victim. Now, I wanted to read this other story because I thought this is extremely funny because this is where men go wrong by being a flaming left liberal and thinking that it's not going to come back to haunt you because women don't like that crap. I don't care what they say. They don't like it. They don't like soft, weak men who do whatever they say. Women, I think women put some of this stuff, especially liberal women, they put some of this stuff out as a test to see if you're going to fall for it. Look at this next story. Let me just... Let me see if I can make this bigger. Oh, it ain't getting no bigger. All right. Am I the a-hole for breaking up with my girlfriend over saying I've had my fun? I was going to play the other one first. But we'll do this one. Because I don't think this dude is soft. I think he did the right thing. It says, I've had my fun. It's time for me to settle down. That's what she said that broke me instantly. This came after a group discussion with her friends that had to do with hookups. I asked her to clarify what she meant by that later. And she said she's glad she had her fun sex with hookups. And that she's glad she can settle down with someone more secure and available. What? What man would ever hear that and be like, I'm so glad I could be your second pick? I'm so glad that I was a player on the bench and not your starter. And that when everybody else got injured and hurt and done playing the game, you let me play the rest. I'm so glad. I told her I basically find that extraordinarily offensive, and right then and there basically ensured that there would, for the rest of our relationship, forever be an imbalance. I rejected all hookups, as I wanted sex to be only for those I loved, whereas she had a bunch of hookups, loved all of it, and then settled for me, who she basically implied was a downgrade. Ugh. He's right, though. Let's read on. She thinks it's absolutely insane that I leave her over this, but I personally can't fathom staying. I mean, to put it quite bluntly, I felt the biggest bitch after she said that in front of her friends. I think the relationship and the one you want to spend your life with should be the fun part. He's right. He's right. And I can't fathom how a woman could think saying that would be a good idea. And he said he felt like a bitch because she said that in front of her whole friend group. So she's basically telling her whole friend group, I got slutted out by several dudes, and now I settle with the dude who doesn't get me hot. That's disgusting. Disgusting to a man. All right, let's read on. Why would I want to stay in what has basically become an entirely one-sided relationship where she's reminiscing on the fun she had, while I'm actively trying to make those great moments with her, those great memories with her? That's true. So he's saying straight up, I'm trying to make great memories, have fun with this young lady. And meanwhile, she's thinking, I've had my fun already. No need for these fun memories. I'm sorry, but F that. Why should I be happy knowing that other guys got the super fun, wild times with her after knowing her for a couple of hours? Which is disgusting, dude. Whereas I, the guy who's giving her my absolute 100, gets the mediocre, tired version. How am I supposed to feel like I am putting in 10 times the effort as these other guys, yet receiving 1/10 in return? That's true. How should he not feel like that? She said she had her fun doing backflips in the bedroom with all these dudes. And then she said, well, he is more secure. That's terrible to say to somebody. This is not the only Reddit I've seen where women have said things like this and think that is totally fine and the dude will be great. And this shows, dang, I'm wondering if I should say this to the end, but I won't. This shows a complete selfishness on the part of that woman. She thinks that she is so great and God's gift to men that he should be happy to have her leftover punani. He should be happy about it. He should be great, the happiest dude in the world to say, this ran through roast beef is all mine now. That's what he should be. At least if you're a woman who had a promiscuous past, the first thing you should do to the man you with, if he accepts that, is to apologize and be like, you know what? I messed up. You're the man I really want to be with. You're the man that God led me to. But I lived a promiscuous past in my life, and it was wrong, and I shouldn't have done that. Because all throughout my life, even though I didn't know it, I belonged to you. and I was giving that away, and I treated my body like a piece of meat, and I 100% apologize, and I turned away from that, and I want you to know that is never going to be a part of my future anymore. If you say something like that, a man could be like, you know what? You changed. Your life has changed. You have a repentant spirit. I forgive that. But these women nowadays are saying, yeah, I did it and it was fun. And now I'm with somebody more secure. The audacity. All right. Then he goes on. Like, I'm sorry, but I simply find that way of thinking simply incompatible with a long-term relationship, especially as someone who has never and will never give myself sexually to someone casually. I feel like there would always be a major imbalance. He ain't lied yet. I mean, what's done is done already, but I love to know if this is overreaction or not. That's his first mistake. Going to the internet in a liberal place like Reddit. No. This is Am I Overreacting Reddit, not Am I the A-hole. But so he's asking strangers if he's overreacting. He's going to get a bunch of women. Look, this is how you know he got a bunch of women. Look, he got 11 upvotes and 1.5K comments. So he didn't get that many upvotes, but he sure got a lot of comments. So people don't agree with him. But a bunch of I wish I would have found the original post and went through some of the comments. But you can tell here that it's going to be a bunch of liberal women saying, you need to forgive her, and maybe you're just not sexually compatible, but still, blah, 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 and you shouldn't hold her past against all that crap. And then he puts an edit here at the end. Edit. It's not just about the sex. It's about how she views it. That's a good point. She's had her fun. Now she wants to settle down with me. I don't agree with that. I think the relationship is the fun part. That's a good point too. I think getting in a relationship is when the fun should start. My fault. I think getting in a relationship is where the fun should start ramping up and getting more exciting. She obviously thinks the exact opposite. That's true. All through a relationship, if she just looks at you as the backup man, that's letting you know right off the bat she don't got much respect for you. She gonna Hakash sing you. That's exactly what this is. Exactly what it is. Akash Singh is going through this right now. He married the woman. He married this woman. So I think he made the right decision. I would too advise him, break up with her. In fact, one of the reasons is, it may sound small to y'all, but the main reason I would break up with her is, even if she was thinking stupid thoughts, she didn't even consider that this might embarrass him, and she said it in public. She said it in public. I mean, she didn't even care that it might embarrass him. She knew women are very socially adept. They're very socially aware. They know when something is like wrong to say. They know when something is taboo. They know all this stuff more than men do. So don't think for 1 second she wasn't using this as a way to embarrass him in front of her friends, because women try to do this thing too, especially feminist women. They try to hurt a man with words in front of or publicly, and publicly shame him for what his beliefs are or what they want to do or anything. They'll use that as a tool to put a man down so that they can establish themselves as a leader in the relationship. And since she did that with such ease, I would be like, cut this woman off. Let her go back to her fun. She was having so much fun. Let her go back. Here's a funny one, okay? This is funny because this is where liberalism has failed these liberal men, and they just can't seem to understand what makes a man or attractive to a woman. The worst thing you can do as a man to any woman, I don't care how left-wing she is, I do not care. If you sleep with another man, you can be as liberal as you want. That will disgust the majority of women. because they look at that and say, that's not what real men do. Nothing is biological. In the same way you wouldn't want to eat something that looked like it was covered in maggots. It's a disgust that is in us naturally. It's in a woman naturally to say, dude, you let a man go up in that poop hole? He was dominating you? They get disgusted by that. So let's read the story. Mentioned my last girlfriend was trans to my current girlfriend, and she refuses to talk to me anymore. Oh, the pain! So let me rewrite this in the way that with reality involved. Mentioned my last girlfriend was a man to my current girlfriend, and she refused to talk to me anymore. That makes more sense. Let's read this. We've been dating for 9 months, and she's my second ever girlfriend. Wrong. She's your first ever girlfriend. I had a phase during college where a trans woman in my friend group came on to me hard, and we eventually started dating. Let me reword that for you, sir. I had a phase during college where I got real gay, and a man dressed as a woman hit on me, and I said yes. I honestly had never even considered dating a trans woman prior to that point. Wrong. Let me reword that for you. I was a weak beta male who a man ran some game on, and because he was in a dress, I decided to go along with it. That's what you meant to say. Anyways, I don't know how to get my girlfriend to talk to me again. Is it completely over? She's a lib, so I never imagined this kind of reaction. She legitimately looked at me like I was a PP file when I mentioned my last girlfriend was trans. Oh, that liberal crap didn't work now, did it, buddy? But, buddy, you put the PP in the poo-poo, and now she looking at you. You put the PP in the poo-poo, and now look at you. You thought it was going to be okay that you had sex with a man because she's a liberal? She can't turn off her biology. Don't believe that liberal crap. They don't even know what they think. These liberal feminist women don't even know what they think. They don't even know what a man and a woman is. They can't define it, but I guarantee you that biology hit. When you told her that story, she was like, what? You did what with who? What? And she probably know who he was talking about too. And if you know anything about these people, they never look like what they try to appear to be as. Every once in a while, you see somebody like Blair White that's like passing, and that's still disgusting. And I still be looking like, I don't know, man. I still be seeing like, oh man, look at the body and look at that's a man now, boy. When you look. So she probably knew who it was because all these liberals hang out together in their little liberal covens. She probably knew who it was and was like, that's a straight up man, boy. He got an Adam's apple bigger than my fist. And you was smooching on another man in a dress? I know I said I was liberal, but I ain't that liberal. I know this one. Look, he's astonished. He's trying to get her back. Mentioned to my last girlfriend that my last girlfriend was trans to my current girlfriend, and she refuses to talk to me anymore, meaning that he trying to talk to her. He trying to get her back. Look at some of the comments over here. Nah, bro, it's gay. True. straight chicks don't want to date gay men. It's true. This is true. Gross. She doesn't want a gay boyfriend or one that has ever had sex with a man. Women do not want this. That's true. Here we go with the homophobic word. This is because women are homophobic than most people realize. And more importantly, women will always compare themselves to your previous partners. Everybody does that, not just women. She now feels she looks mannish. Maybe she do. Though if pressed, most wouldn't deny those thought patterns. Most would deny those thought patterns. She thought her boyfriend was hetero. Turns out he's bi. That's a deal breaker for a lot of women. For most. For most. Turns out biology matters, no matter what these liberals say. She was like, all right. All right, it says, does it make for a fun question for supposed allies, though? So you date a guy who dated a trans woman before you? All right, so all of these pretty much says sort the comments by controversial. I don't know if I want to do that because I don't know what's going to come up. This is kind of funny. I ain't gonna read it though. It's kind of gross. She doesn't want to be with him because she knows he's actually gay. That's a fact. Oh, man. The reality is, ladies and gentlemen, is people can lie all they want. You can say you liberal and all that crap. It doesn't matter because God made you to be a certain way. You can sit up here and these women will lie to these men dressed as women, say, she's so beautiful, she's stunning. First of all, it's not a she. Second of all, no, it's not. It is not. That man that's walking around going to all these restaurants and begging somebody to say, sir, because it's obviously a sir. And then as soon as somebody calls him a sir, it throws a fit. Do not want to face the reality that he looks like a him. Big muscular man in a dress and makeup. Why does society got to play this game? And here's the thing. I blame this dude. It's not her fault. In fact, I commend her for being disgusted and not talking to him again, because that's a soft man who doesn't deserve a relationship. Go back and be with the men. You so open-minded. Go back with that man. I'm sure he will accept you back. You people are sick, man. People try to act like, too, that it's not a perversion. Yes, it is, man. Have you seen... I'm not even going to get into it because some of these people is nasty, dude. Like, this is not somewhere, oh, I didn't know until the last second. Yes, you did. You are gay. Why are you gay? You are super gay. That's what this is. And now you trying to get a regular girl and be friend, try to continue a relationship like it didn't happen. Well, I know biologically that was a man, but she said she was trans, so it's okay, right? No. Anyways, the last thing I want to cover is, and I know, let's see. I want to see you guys' feedback on one of my comic books. Here we go. Called Broken Worlds. And this comic book I started a long time ago. I'm debating whether I'm continue it. It is a comic book that's a fantasy. It's more of a fantasy than a romance, but it's pretty cool because it is a metaphor. It's a very strong metaphor and has a Christian metaphor. And I want to see if people will actually like a story that's not necessarily preaching at you, but a story that has well thought out characters, has some long term consequences, has a very interesting world, and original fantasy that's like not necessarily Lord of the Rings, but more anime inspired. But it's a very I thought the world that was created here was very very cool. I think that maybe one day it'll get the love it deserves. But at the same time, if it doesn't, I'm not super mad about that because people like what they like. You can't make them like your art. You can work forever, and if they don't like it, sometimes they just won't like it. Even if all the art, all the writing was done by me, all the drawings, I draw it on the my digital tablet, all the character designs, all that stuff. So I would love to get some feedback and see what I would like to do is cultivate a community. And they tell me, hey, okay, this part is good, but it could use more of this. This part is good, or this part is bad because of this, and give me some real feedback because a lot of the things that I draw or a lot of things that I do, it's hard to get feedback when people don't know who you are. So I'm working on the next part now. Let me see if I can pull some of this stuff. Maybe I'll pull some up. Let's see. Show y'all some exclusive art here. Or some of my art in general. Let's see. Let me go through some art that I've made. Art for a comic book I never really worked on. Some more art. Some of my close friends know this, called Tools of Fate. Art I did. This is from Broken Worlds. Broken Worlds again. Broken Worlds. The logo, Broken Worlds. This is for one I was gonna do. It's more crass. It's more violent. It's called The Loser Half Orc Prince. Sword of the Sky from a long time ago. Yeah, one of my favorite characters. Never really continued that comic book, but I wanted to see if people were really gonna be into it, and a lot of people are not. And that is what it is. When you're an artist, you create something, and sometimes you'll like it, and people won't necessarily like it. But you can't be mad at the people who don't like it. You just gotta do better. Do I got some art for Sword of the Sky? Oh crap. Oh no. Seeing if I can find some more art that I've never shown anybody yet. Let's see. All right, so I also did these comic books, like little short comics that are like funny. If you guys follow me on Twitter, I put those type of things out. Yeah. Let's see. This one, what else Did one about the bear. When people are going insane over the bear, I made one about that. Says, "Get away from me. I'd rather be in the forest with a bear than a man." Ah! The bear is chewing her up. Gah! Oh God! Please, somebody! Why ain't you do nothing? As she's bleeding on the ground. Those ones don't take me long, and people really did like them online. It's not my favorite thing to make as far as drawing goes, but maybe I need to get back to it because people really like. Some of them did go viral. Some of them went pretty viral. Like, I'm talking about people shared the mess out of them. Didn't even know I created it. They were sharing it so much I would see it somewhere else, and people were like really going crazy over it. But it wasn't my wasn't what I really feel like my heart was in, is making fun. My heart was never in making funny comics. I just did that as like in between doing other things. My heart was never in making it funny stuff or quick comics. But if that's what people like, then I guess I got to do that. But I just never got back around to doing it. But I'm trying to decide if I can get any following for my long form comics. My long form comics have always been my strong passion. I wonder if I could find my Tools of Fate stuff. I forgot. I haven't worked on it in so long. Here we go. Let me see. Tools of Fate is another comic that is based on Christianity, but it's not overtly based on, like, you won't be able to tell until you really look and see. It's a comic. I use a lot of 3D modeling in this one as well. It's a comic that I did, and it's basically done by panels. So it's not like a traditional comic where it's a page with separate panels, and it's basically all silent. It's just pictures. And it goes through a story where this creature is coming out of it. This creature that looks like a man is coming out of an egg. He's walking. If you wanted to watch this, you could watch this on my other channel. I believe the other channel is called Tools of Fate, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Here, let me see. But yeah, my other channel is... Here it is. I'm gonna play this. I made a trailer for it a long time ago. Made the music too. Let me see. Created by Jack Bravo, you see. Oh crap, I gotta put this on. I gotta rewind it because I know that song.
I mörkret ser jag skuggorna som väntar. Det finns ingen väg tillbaka när du faller. Viska mitt namn men ingen hör dig längre. Saknaden växer som en svartsjuka. Trots allt det som var finns inget svar. Min kära dagen har kommit nu. Livet vi förlorat. Ja, ja. Sanningen förkrossar som en kniv bröstet. Aj. Och det här fördärvar oss. Kan lika gärna
Never really continued that one either. I gotta continue stuff and finish it, even if nobody's watching it, just out of perseverance. And but I do like one of the things as artists is I'm very, very big on being real with myself and saying if people don't really like it, then I shouldn't just be selfish and do things for me because art is created for other people to consume. But there is a balance there, and I'm trying to find the balance of where do you create art where other people like it, but you also enjoy it, and it's somewhere in the middle where I'm not just because I can create something just for me that I know I would like. Tools of Fate is kind of like that. They got some very weird, creepy characters in there, and I love that type of stuff. But is it just me that's liking it, or is it something that the audience really vibes with? If they don't, then chances are I should probably stop doing it because what's the point of art if nobody likes it, right? So I don't know. It's a balance that I'm trying to find. Thank you guys for joining me today. My name is Jack Bravo. This is The Righteous Edge. Join us next time. We'll see you guys. We'll be doing another stream with some other people from my church and some friends of mine. And hopefully we'll be having a debate soon too. So thank you guys for watching.